Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Today we're gonna go over how to draw Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, well, GT kind of doesn't exist, right? Dragon Ball Super. I'm gonna go through it step by step. It's gonna be from his kind of waist up. Um, if you want a full body one later, let me know in the comments. Now's a pretty good time to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And we're gonna get into it. Before that though, I am gonna tell you a sponsor, and this is the Sketch Wallet. The Sketch Wallet is essentially, what it sounds like. It is a wallet you can keep your money in, but at the same time, it has a built-in section for a sketchbook. So one thing with me is I always have a sketchbook on me, always, even before this. I always put it in my pocket. I have a little sketchbook, so on downtimes, let's say I'm in a waiting room, let's say I'm just chilling out somewhere, I just like, man, I wish I could just draw, and I don't have it, but I had a tiny one with me. This kind of shortcuts that, because now you have it built right into your wallet, and you put all your stuff, your cards, whatever it is that you need, you put it right here. You have a pencil, or maybe like a small pen you can put in there if you can fit it. And then you have that on you at all times. The other issue I had before this is I would sometimes forget my sketchbook in the car, because when I carry stuff in my pocket, I have like my wallet, my keys, and my phone, right? And the wallet would be the square object, but so would my sketchbook. So sometimes I think I have my sketchbook, but in reality it was my wallet, or vice versa. There's times I forgot my wallet because I had my sketchbook in my pocket. So this kind of just merges them into one. I love this thing so far. I believe they have a Kickstarter running. I'm going to link all the appropriate links in the description of this video, so go check that out, and tell them I sent you, by the way, once you get there. Thank you. That's pretty much it. And thank you for, that's an awesome freaking wallet. Alright guys, let's get going with Vegeta. I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to start with an under sketch, and then I'm going to put it over, and I am going to go on top of that. So follow along with me if you can. I'm using this, just the pencil doesn't matter. I'm just using anything pencil-wise. And what I'm using for the pen, I'm using a Faber-Castell PITT Artist pen. Very similar to this thing I use on other videos, the Artist Brush. It's the exact same thing, just smaller. These are amazing pens. They're not even sponsoring me at all. They're so good. I need to reach out to them and see, like, hey, if they could, give me some pens or something, because they're so freaking good. All right, gonna go right here, but you can do it with any pen, by the way, guys. I'm gonna make a circle. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to find proportion. So circle, find his shoulders across, center line, and then he's got the freaking giant hair, right? I love that. And I'm just gonna kind of draw like a cone, really, for now. We're thinking in simplistic forms, simplistic shapes. The more simple, the better at the start. Center line of the face. I'm drawing really dark because I'm gonna throw this underneath the other paper. For paper, I'm using completely normal 8.5 by 11 computer paper. I'll put the link in the description as well, but they sell it everywhere. It's just computer paper. Regular as well, 11 by 17. Sorry, whoops, 8.5 by 11. 11 by 17 is larger. Pull down for the neck. I'm thinking of the neck as a tube. Traps. The trapezius really just pulls everything together when you don't want the neck just sitting on there like a cone on the shoulders. You want it to connect, and the shoulder blades do that. I want him to be crossing his arms. It's a very famous kind of Vegeta-like pose. And I want his old armor. That's another thing. His old armor with the shoulder blades. The new armor, he kind of ditches the shoulder pad blading, whatever, shoulder pad thing. But I like it a lot. So you get the chest area. Pulling down at the elbow. Pure placement. See how this is? It's nothing, you know, it's not presented drawing clearly. It is just notes for yourself. You're doing this, and you're finding it yourself. I'm gonna pull his hair a little bit back. Just whatever things I can do. The eye line, and the nose. And even this will kind of work already. I want to find the kind of eye socket area. Hairline, he's got that freaking awesome hairline. And see, even this, that's gonna work just fine in terms of like one layer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this, and this is regular computer paper, remember, and I'm gonna slide this underneath another piece of paper. And I don't know how it looks on the camera. You probably can't see it, or maybe you can barely see it. For me, I can barely see it, and that's perfect because now I have visual notes that I created, and I don't have to think about proportion as much. So I'm gonna go in with the Faber-Castell, and I'm gonna start out in the eye area. And his eye is, I'm gonna start with a brow. He's got that big freaking, well, not big, it kind of tapers, gets smaller and it gets really large toward the eyebrow. And then his eye is essentially a square. He's gonna pull up here into the furrow because he's kind of angry. He's kind of always angry, like the Hulk, but he's always angry. Pupil of the eye, he has like a dot. He's got a furrowing right here, kind of between the eyes. It's just like, just all it is 3 lines aiming upward. It's real, you know, to break it down, real simple. And then the far side eye. And I'm gonna start with the eyebrow as well. All right, and let's go on the far side eye and draw a straight line down, pulling downward right here, and then pulling in, making sure the eyes look like they're on the same character. That's another thing that I know people struggle with. You make certain features uneven. Let's get that ski slope nose, that pointed ski slope nose, and then we're looking at the bottom portion of it. The bottom portion of it is facing us. And then pulling up. Let's go to the side of the head. Pull down, side of the face. Mouth area. And you could do like a smile, like that kind of deceptive smile thing going on. I like that. Chin. Let's go to the top of the head here. for that, and kind of move this thing around here and figure out how to go with that, go with the adjustment. Down to the neck. Side of the neck over here. The traps. Other trap. The vest. So every character here is so freaking steroided out that, you know, his pectoralis is showing above his armor, you know, it's sticking out. Sternocleidomastoid on that side. So let's get back to the ear. Making like a C curve there. Another curve. Another one on the inside of the pit. And then the top. The ear's not, I don't want to say it's like unimportant, but it's not like terribly important. You don't have to get it dead on. Far side of the hair. Pull down. Other far side. Pull down. I'm gonna have to keep this thing from going off the page. Pull back. Pulling down. You kind of have that curve. So like a lot of Dragon Ball hair, I'm gonna go over this on like let me go over this real fast on like scratch paper here. A lot of it has this kind of has this like invert, right? This kind of curve. And then on the opposite end, it has like just a long semblance of that curve, kind of like a wave. So it's not gonna be like, you know, just static like that. It's gonna be this kind of like thickness to thin, and then downward. The lower side has gravity pulling on it, so it's gonna be just one long curve down there. So a lot of the hair shape is gonna have this kind of curvature up, pulled down. I don't know if that made sense. I hope that kind of slightly made sense. So I see that a lot with a bunch of these. I think Goku has the exact same thing. Up, and then pull down. Up, right here, pull down. And then, I'm gonna take it all the way to his head here. Pull down. Let's go into his armor. I'm gonna draw the top side of his armor. And that top side is really just cloth. That first layer is just cloth here. And then it goes into the actual physical armor. Pull across. So you have that layer. They have kind of a distinct design pattern to it, where it's this bulbous thing. It kind of looks like bugs. I've noticed their armor. They kind of look like exoskeletons, but so does a lot of armor, by the way. They look very exoskeleton-like a bug's exoskeleton. But the reason I think and I don't know if they've ever mentioned it or not, but I know that Vegeta's armor and the whole Saiyan armor, that to me has a very bug-like look to it, because of the striations that they have on the shoulder pads on a lot of that stuff. They have these striations that look very exoskeleton-like, like some sort of beetle, or I've kind of always noticed that as a kid, and it's cool looking. It was clearly, I think, inspired by a beetle, but you never know. Maybe it wasn't. So right now we're gonna go into his shoulder, and I have it mapped out below, like, you know, generally where that shoulder is. Pulling down into this is the deltoid. It's gonna tie downward. Gonna pull down to the tricep, and it's gonna pull down into the other deltoid. If you don't know that stuff, you look around the channel. There are stuff around the channel. I'm actually gonna put a huge section pretty soon on my website on easythings2draw.net. I want to put a section layer. You see like an anatomy model, and you need to click on any section that you want, you know, any large muscle group, and there'll be a video accompanying that that'll pop up. That's like my project I'm working on. I want to make that happen. Going over here, arm's gonna go underneath, the forearm's gonna go underneath the hand. Arm over here. And he's got that glove, that large glove on. And then you have the far side arm, elbow, with a lot of the exact same stuff on that side. So I'm going to throw that in here, following the pattern of the far side as well, the far side armor. And I'm going to pull that in as well. So I got to make sure to throw that arm underneath this. Some lines. Putting in a couple of details. So for example, the armor kind of splits here. You also see the underside of the bug armor. I like to call it bug armor. The striations to the sand armor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it vignetted like that. I'm not even going to show, you know, the rest of his body. What I'm going to do as well is I'm going to go along the outer edge of the contour, and I'm going to pull into some to kind of really make it obvious what goes in front of what. I'm going to throw a thicker line across here because I want that armor to, you know, I want you to know that that armor's in front of that. And I might throw some small shadow lines so that you know that, you know, that's shadow. I'm gonna throw some line down here at the bottom to show just some form going on. I would fill in his entire head shape, honestly, but I don't really think it's necessary. And let me take the paper underneath out just to show you. So this is what I started with right here, this section, and I went into that. Right, I use that as my framework, and it's all stuff that I'm doing myself. You'll find the same thing. You can do your own. You do your drawings in sections, right? So you don't have to think of 100 things at once. So if I was to draw that, and you can do that eventually, right? You can just start drawing whatever you want. If you really, but I still don't. Almost no professional I know still does. Very, very few do, where you have it so down. Usually, what you're doing is you're finding the proportion so the character doesn't go right off the page. And I was even in danger of that right now. And then you go into smaller and smaller details. You break it up into chunks. So I'm gonna go over proportion first, then go over maybe anatomy or something. You know, you just pick one, you know. But right now I went over, you know, everything on the second layer. And you can do as many layers as you want. I hope you learned something. I really do. I hope you stuck around this long. If you did, you know, check out my Patreon. There might be some perks that you like. I go in there and I kind of like point out your specific things. I concentrate on what you're doing wrong, and I'll tell you what you're doing wrong, and it might save you a couple of years of doing the same thing wrong over and over again. So that's the Patreon. Otherwise, just subscribe, have fun, join the Join the email list. I'm going to be putting that on the entire YouTube channel. And give me some characters to draw. I have a ton to draw that I want to, so, you know, more is always better. All right, later, guys. Talk to you soon. Oh, hit that like button, by the way. Thank you.